Hello, Cheryl here, the No Sugar Coach. Welcome to video number 3 of my Feast on Wellness series. Today, I want to talk about fasting. My goal here is to give you a balanced view on what fasting is all about. We'll explore the good stuff and the not so good stuff, and who might want to think twice before jumping in. So what is fasting? Well, it's basically choosing to take a break from eating or drinking anything with calories for a set amount of time, and that amount of time is determined by you. You're giving your body a chance to take a break from constantly processing food. And now, why would you want to fast in the first place? Well, if you're into health, wellness, or you're just trying to shed a few pounds, you've probably already heard the buzz about fasting. Maybe you've even given it a shot, or you're into a fasting routine right now. Now, fasting has gotten super popular lately, both as a way to manage weight and as something that might boost your health. So, it helps with all sorts of metabolic functions, and it's even touted as helping you live longer. So let's dive in. There are different types of fasting. There are a lot of different ways people do this. So we're just going to run through some of the most popular ones. There's all sorts of ways, but these are the top ones. So first up is restricted time eating, also known as TRE, time restricted eating. This is all about when you eat. So you cram all of your meals into a specific window, usually somewhere between 6 and 12 hours. Super common example is the 16-8 method, which means you eat all of your meals within 8 hours, and then you fast for the other 16 hours. So if you start eating at noon, and that means that you would be finished eating at 8 p.m. So you start at noon, you end by 8 p.m. Now you don't just sit there and eat for 8 hours straight. A lot of people think that's what you do, but no, what it means is that you just eat your usual meals, be they 2 or 3 meals, and you eat them within that 8-hour window. So outside of that, you just stick to water, black coffee, or tea, basically 0 calories. So what are the benefits of time-restricted eating? Like all methods of fasting, you can experience some weight loss. Studies suggest that it can help with blood sugar regulation, blood pressure, cholesterol, and your metabolism overall. Time-restricted eating can help with circadian rhythm alignment, so it gets things back into a normal rhythm. And it's also a pretty simple way to get started with fasting. So the next up is the alternate day fasting, also known as ADF, alternate day fasting. This is where you alternate between days of fasting and days of eating normally. For example, you might fast on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then eat normally on the other days. So what happens on those fasting days? Well, your body, burns through its glycogen stores, and it starts burning fat for energy. It takes a little time, but if you stick with it, you can see some pretty solid improvements. So, weight loss and better general health. So you can expect some other benefits from alternate day fasting. You will drop a few pounds. You will lose some of that annoying and unhealthy belly fat, which is great. It can lower your total cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol, blood pressure, and markers of inflammation. And some studies have even reported improved insulin sensitivity and better blood sugar control, so I'm always happy about that. So all this is well and good, but to be honest, not eating at all for a whole day can be tough, especially at first. So on your eating days, you want to make sure to eat whole food like meat, animal fat, and some non-starchy vegetables, and eat until you're satisfied but not stuffed. Some people do this the wrong way. Like, you don't want to be gorging the day before a fast just because you won't be eating something the next day. That would be counterproductive, which is usually why people don't see the results that they are expecting from fasting. So don't just cram as much food as you can in the day before a fast. Just eat normally, fast, and then get back to eating normally. All right, so next up, another popular method of fasting is the 1 meal a day, better known as OMAD. So 1 meal a day, OMAD. This is pretty much what it sounds like. You eat all of your daily calories in a single meal, and usually you do this within a 1 hour window, and you fast for the other 23 hours. And some people swear by it, others find it way too hard. Now, you can pick whichever meal works best for you, but keep in mind you're trying to get all of your nutrients in one shot. So you can't just eat junk and whatever. Choose real whole foods. Some people experience significant weight loss with this method, and some also report improved focus and energy. The challenge is that eating so much food in one sitting can be really rough. You might miss out on some important nutrients just because you can't cram all the nutrients you need into just one meal. It's uncomfortable. So be careful. Some people can pull it off, others find it very uncomfortable. And hunger here can be a real issue as well. So now let's talk about 2 meals a day, which is TUMAD. Then, of course, this is like OMAD's chill cousin. You eat all your calories in 2 meals. You eat whatever meals that you decide on. You don't have to eat within a specific eating window. You get the same benefits and the same challenges as OMAD, but it's generally, much easier to stick with. All right, so now let's look at 24, 36, and 48-hour fasts. With a 24-hour fast, you go from one meal to the same meal the next day, usually once a week. So you finish dinner at 6 p.m. on, let's say, a Monday, and you don't eat again until 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Now, people find this one fairly easy to fit into their week. So now let's look at the 36-hour fast. This one is when you eat your last meal at 6 p.m. Again, let's just say on Monday, and then you don't eat on Tuesday at all. And your first meal is on Wednesday morning at 6. You have breakfast. So this longer fasting period can really get you into ketosis and obviously weight loss. Then there's the 48-hour fast, which means you're fasting for 2 whole days, a little tougher to do. So your last meal is 6 p.m. Again, let's just pick Monday. You skip eating on Tuesday and you end your fast on Wednesday at 6 p.m. or at supper time. So that's pretty straightforward. Again, people do experience some great weight loss doing this, but it can be pretty tough to manage. So then there are the prolonged fasts, which are anything longer than 48 hours. Some people swear by them, but they're definitely not for everyone. So my overall takeaway on fasting is I think it can be good for your metabolic health. It definitely clears out old cells in your body through a process called autophagy. I've provided a link to an article about autophagy in the notes below. On your eating days, eat good food until you're full. And on fasting days, stay hydrated and maybe add some electrolytes to your water. Certainly an extra pinch of salt can help a lot. Now here are some of the potential downsides. I think fasting can be very uncomfortable for some people. Ask me how I know. You might feel hungrier than usual, especially when you're first starting out. It's partly psychological because you're not going to be eating, so there's that. And then it's partly physical as well. I mean, the truth is you haven't eaten, so you're going to get hungry. But hunger passes. It doesn't last very long, so you can ride those waves. I've just never managed it very well. Headaches are pretty common because of low blood sugar, irritability, anxiety, being short-tempered, that sort of thing can happen. And you might have some digestive issues as your body gets used to things. So who should not fast? And this is super important because fasting is really not for everyone. So pregnant or breastfeeding women, you need those nutrients, so no fasting for you. Young children and teenagers, obviously, they need consistent nutrition for growth. Elderly individuals might have different nutritional needs, so, caution there. And people with chronic diseases should talk to their doctor first. Anyone with a history of eating disorders or food addiction should not fast. So here are my final thoughts. If you're thinking about fasting, make sure it's safe for you, especially if you have issues. Seriously, talk to your doctor if you're not sure. If you have physical or mental health issues or you're taking prescription medications, fasting may not be for you. When you do eat, make sure that you're getting all the nutrients that you need. Don't be eating garbage and processed food. And most importantly, if fasting makes you feel bad or it leads to unhealthy habits or it creates triggers to, binge eat, or it starts to create cravings for junk food, then this is not for you. Listen to your body. Now, as for me, I have plans to try a couple of 36-hour fasts each week starting next week. Now, I have notoriously failed at fasting in the past. But I don't think I was properly fueled up before a fasting day. So I will give it a try again and I'll let you know how I'm managing. So this ought to be interesting. All right, that's it for today. I mean, thanks so much for hanging out with me again. If you decide to try fasting, do your homework first and always put your health first. Drop me a note and I can answer any questions that you may have. Let me know if you've tried fasting or if you're currently fasting regularly. I'd love to know how you're making out. So I'm going to catch you on the next video. In the meantime, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And remember always, eat well, be kind to yourself, and keep a smile on your face. Bye-bye.